Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to today's edition of the Just Us Review. We like to break down our favorite shows, whether they be in the superhero genre, supernatural, whatever it may be. Break them down and give you guys that nit and that grit. And you guys know by now, we like it, we love it. If we hate it, you're gonna hear about it. And today we have a special one. That's right, The Boys has just wrapped up. You guys have sat through our halfway point where we gave you the ins and outs, what we hope they were accomplished, but they've finished. And season 3 is on the horizon. But have they passed the test of what we wanted them to pass yet? So let's go through the goods and let's go through some of the bads. Of course, kicking off the goods.
You go through the Stormfront.
Yeah, we're gonna go through the Stormfront.
Okay. The goods, the bads, and the Stormfront.
Can I go first just to get myself out of the way?
Okay.
The good, the bad. I'll go with the good, the bad, the Stormfront.
Yeah. Okay, we'll do that. We'll do the goods, the bads, and the Stormfront. So we're gonna give a shout out to our affiliate, Icy Hot. When your ass is burning, you the one you reach for. Now, kicking off at the top of the hour, the goods. Who want to go off first?
I'm gonna go first, just to get it out of the way. I really don't have any goods except for Gene Carl as whatever his name is.
Carl Esposito.
Yeah.
Who's John Carlos Esposito?
The black man in charge of.
Oh, Mr. Freeze.
Not first of all, we're not gonna call him that because I have an issue with that. But we'll get into that off camera later. But second of all, he's the only consistent character that logically makes sense in the show right now.
I thought Homelander would.
We'll get into it.
We're talking about the goods.
We'll get into Cuckland.
So my goods for the show is actually my boy A-Train. Him circumventing the system and get himself back on the squad. He's like, you know what? Fuck you. You ain't gonna look out for me. I'm gonna look out for myself. So especially at the wake of Stormfront getting kicked off because her issues with him, him being Jewish. And
I'm trying to respect you. Let you speak your words.
This is good.
I know, but it's so very hard to stay silent.
So a little redemption for my boy A-Train. Some other goods. Oh, I have a great. My girl Stormfront got the ass whooping she been asking for.
Thank you.
Oh my, that was a workout. You know how people be begging for that ass whooping the whole episode. Mm-hmm. And as soon as it came up, I pulled my chair to the front of the TV, reached out my box of lotion and tissue. Let's get this party started.
It was definitely greatly deserved. It was just missing more minorities.
Yes.
It was Forrest SJW.
How were they all in the same place at the same time?
Especially Babe, who
Can't fly.
I'm just sitting here wondering why Starlight, who has literally been training her entire life for this,
Was
is the
getting
only
her
one
ass
that
beat.
cannot fight.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Because
Like every time
wait,
you're just
wait.
getting your ass
Who said that Starlight could fight?
no, but she's been training for years.
I'm sorry?
Years.
Did you not see the fight?
First of all,
She
okay.
needed help.
And, of course she did. First of all, let's go down the list. Maeve is the only one who looks like she's been tested and proven. Kimiko is
Yes, because we
actually...
have literally seen scenes where Maeve is training with other people.
Kimiko, we know can throw hands. And on top of that, she hot. So we already know she already know how to put in work. And Starlight, she was doing mostly beauty pageants and stuff.
No, but still, it opens up when we first see her and she's punching at walls, so we know, so she's been training for this, so she should be prepared.
My boy,
exactly.
You can't fight. You're getting your ass whooped by Homelander.
In the
You're
worst...
getting your ass whooped by Black Noir.
To be fair,
In the words
To be
of the
fair,
greatest in the words of the greatest martial artist, Steve by the Checkers, why hit board don't hit back. What were you saying?
I was gonna say, to be fair, nobody's fighting Black Noir.
Oh yeah. That was just a wash. I was like, when she was going up against Black Noir, I was like,
Which is, by the way, that was my
I'm
favorite
like-
fighting scene throughout the season. The Black Noir stomp out.
Statistically, someone had to
It
like
was
it.
good, but
all right.
that's another good Black Noir.
I'm gonna agree with the naysayer that John Carl Esposito, did I say his name?
Mm-hmm.
Sure, let's just go with that. He was definitely a standout this season. He was just a man behind the mask, man behind the building. I don't know, whatever. Like whatever. He was just. I wouldn't even say he was a figurehead. He was just like, yeah, something happened, but we didn't do it. Look over there.
He's
Squirrel.
the only one that makes sense, as it were, in this universe of things that happens, because I'll explain it when I get into the bath. I have
Well-
it.
Well,
He was the personification of the company. Of
the company man.
Yeah. And so if we want to talk about a real life situation person, I gotta give it up to Ashley.
Well, yeah, I did like that Giancarlo Esposito, I liked, specifically in the last episode when he's just like, yes, of course Stormfront bothers me and I don't like her, but I need to do what's good for business. I need to take care of business. It's business as usual. And Billy's just like, how can you stand behind her? And he's like, I'm sorry, do I look like a white? I look like I have the privilege of doing what you would do? No.
Like that scene was so deep. He's like, I don't have the luxury to act out against my own personal interest. Another good that I have, and mind you, we just skimming from the top here.
Yeah.
Was the church, the dude who leads the church. Mm-hmm. The only reason why I like him is because he was another opposing force, and it shows how much power that the church actually has, especially with dealing with a big company like Vought. Because I was like, well, you were able to bring this person to your table. How did you even, like, that shows how much power the church actually has, and on that big a scale. And I was like, okay, I see what you're working with. Of course, we saw what happened to him in the end.
Well, this is like mega
A
church.
cult's a cult, and it
Yeah.
plays to
But-
the target audience.
So I'll say this. I thought it was weird that they veered away from the Christianity aspect and went straight to the cult part compared to season 1 with the stretchy dude.
Mm.
Like, and that considering how much they played up Christianity in season 1, I thought it was interesting that in season 2 that cult had deeper fingers involved.
because it wasn't just a church. It was like Scientology
Yeah.
slash mega church.
Mhm.
So like people know this church.
Mhm.
You know.
So-
they got notoriety.
But look at the contacts they had. Like, they had contacts with senators,
Yeah.
with all these, and I was like, who are you guys?
Just another entity that, you know, like just another side of a corporation. They just don't have to pay taxes.
I got two more goods that are individual characters, and like you said, we skimming off the top. Mallory, I thought she was good this season.
Mallory.
The older woman that was the leader of the
FBI.
board. The
Oh,
FBI
okay,
chick.
Or CIA.
I thought she played her part well. And I'm glad they didn't kill her, because they could
I
have.
felt like she could have died.
She had death flags all over the place.
I like shit. I thought at one point she was gonna slip on the curb. Just bust her head on it.
I liked her, and I liked that whole like meeting that she had with Lamplighter.
Yeah, that was my second good lamplighter. I liked him because he came in, they did his story, and he fucking left.
Well, there's
and
more-
that's what I wanted. I didn't want him lingering around. Maybe I could get back on the 7. I didn't want any of
But it
that.
was good because they kind of like played up who he was and what we were trying to expect from him from season 1.
Mhm.
And so when it got there, it was like, oh, I didn't do it on purpose. I didn't know they were there. And by the time I found out, it was too late. And
Mhm.
you were there, but you disappeared. And so I thought you were following me. Why didn't you stop me?
You talking about
were
Frenchie?
there? Yeah.
Hold that thought.
I actually liked, and I'm gonna echo what you guys were saying. I actually like the whole lamplighter thing too, because it shows like it's like a behind the music thing. Like, what happened to these heroes when you don't see them anymore?
Mhm.
And you see, like, he hates his life. He's like, I'm just doing this now because it's all the only thing I can do. And the realization when he gets back to the bot and he look at the statue of the 7, he's like, they just ripped me down like I've never even existed. And that moment that he's like, what was all this for? And that come to self moment, and he reaches the peak of depression where he just lights himself on fire. So I was like, it was.
But I think he planned on doing that anyway.
At some point, but the whole thing of coming to grips of like you're supposed to be like this, and it's like mirroring like the pop star world and all these people that we see famous and how we see them as X, Y, and Z and what they're really going through. and why like these people that we see that end up committing suicide, and we're like, why they commit suicide? They were living a great life. But that's the only reason why I like that story, because it was mirroring some of the things that actually happen in day to day, especially with like, we don't know that you're depressed because you're being sarcastic, you're laughing. He was being a dick the whole time, but you don't get that feeling of how depressed he really was until that moment.
All right, so let's go ahead and get this out of the way. Homelander. His characterization was pretty much on point this entire season. He was
A bitch boy.
he was a threat in a way. He was like a walking horror movie. You didn't know at what point he was going to snap on somebody.
Yeah.
Most of the beginning of the season, he was just walking around smiling at people, and it was still tension anywhere he went.
So here's the thing. I'm gonna agree with you to a point. The actor that plays Homelander did an outstanding job. The actor that plays Homelander.
That's what I'm talking about.
But there is something that I do want to mention, but I don't know if I should mention it here.
Oh, is it good?
It's not.
Okay, then no. All right, so
I did like, well, not Homelander himself, but the situation he was in when, you know, he just popped up into a foreign country, thought he could do whatever he wanted, laser eyed a super terrorist.
Villain.
And then he got somebody else killed in the process, and then it went viral, and basically him feeling the turmoil of it after, you know, he's getting shouted at by crowds and he's not getting the love and attention that he's used to, and how he's about to break down over it. And I basically liked that situation because I was like, you deserve it.
and going on to that, like, I gauge a villain by how much I hate the villain. Like, for example, like one of your most hated villains. I give you props because you acted so well that I actually literally hate that villain. Homelander is up there with his actor did a phenomenal job. Stormfront was pretty much up there too, with her characterization and how she was able to play the media.
I think the thing with Stormfront was, and I think we talked about it in the first review, but it was just the reveal. If you don't know anything about the comic or you don't know anything about the name Stormfront, she just flipped your expectation so hard, and it was just like came out of nowhere. And like the more that you learn about her, you realize that this is deeper than just than what she's just saying at some points.
Even her sales pitch to the kid when she was trying to tell him about white supremacy, I was like, holy
white genocide.
I was like, good lord.
And
Homelander was like,
Yeah, he looked at it, he was like,
wait, what?
I don't know about all that.
But I mean, he still was cooking.
he didn't say anything, but he was just like, okay.
But he still cooked.
Well, I'm gonna let it
She
slide.
gave off them clues to him blatantly before, and he was like, whatever.
I mean, like y'all, like, and that's the thing, like y'all wanna throw the memes up there, like even Homelander's like, what the fuck? But I mean, like he literally saw her behind the fucking swastika in the picture. So like, why are y'all trying to cut for this dude? Cook and simp for him, like he's the better of two evils. I'm like, get the fuck out of here.
A picture and her actually saying they're two different things.
Nah, man, they're not. Well, I'm assuming you're a Nazi, but then he was like, "Oh, you're actually saying
You are.
Nazi."
What do you mean
Okay.
assumes? Like literally, she was posing in front of a swastika.
I'm
Like
going in the
She
mind
might have just
of
went through a
Homelander.
phase. I
I'm
don't know.
He was just like, well, I'm still
It's
getting
like, well,
attention.
she
That's
was
all
young
that
and in
matters.
love.
Bad attention, good attention.
And my final good is the Darth Vader action that Stormfront caught. Like, I'm still trying to figure out.
Talking about the high ground.
Yeah, I got the high
I don't know
ground.
how heat vision,
How does that do that?
especially a wide array of heat vision, how it
Well-
kind of burns your torso, but it takes off all your limbs.
Well, I mean,
and
it
a little
gives-
bit of heat cuts your mom neck off.
we're gonna pocket that. We're gonna pocket that one for
I
later.
just assumed that because, well, I thought normally when people say half superhero, you think that their powers will be like diluted, kind of. But I think what they tried to do with Ryan's is because he was the first natural born superhero or superpowered person, that his were amplified. probably more than Homelander's were.
Well, no, hold on to that.
It's a lot of variables. Like one, he's young, so it's uncontrolled, unchecked, and it was emotional, and
Right.
it wasn't focused like Homelander. So it can be a lot of things.
Okay, just hold on to that because jet fuel don't miss no steel beams. So, so
You a truther?
wait. Anybody got any more goods?
Black Noir.
Yes.
Yes. Oh my God. Black Noir.
Black Noir.
Me
What
too.
did he do?
Wait.
What did he do?
Go
Black
ahead.
Noir did what he was told to do.
Right.
Follow people, kill them if I tell you to.
I like that he
And that-
wasn't fickle.
Who did he kill?
I like that he,
The
you know,
terrorists at the
he,
beginning of the season.
the terrorist at the beginning.
Oh,
No name.
no
he didn't
names.
kill
Oh,
Huey.
wow.
I'm sorry, Huey is a name
I'm sorry, he didn't kill Billy Butcher.
because he was told to stand down.
Because
Yeah,
would've
because
killed-
they're
he
main
got
characters,
tricked like
yeah.
a Looney Tune character.
if he would have killed Billy, who would have been saying cunt from now on?
Ryan now. Why are you saying it?
Don't be a cunt.
I liked how Black Noir was, you know, the most stable, I want to say, out of the cast, consistent. And, you know, he didn't deviate from what he was supposed to do. Because
He seemed like the only dependable super.
that. And then I also like that, you know, we got to add some kind of humanity to him, or like a
The allergy.
with the allergy, because it's like, oh, you're a superhero, you don't deal with things normal people deal with. It's like, oh no, I can get taken down by an almond joy. There was nothing. I
I
just
think
like
it's
that.
weird that his teammates fucking know that.
I think it's fine.
That's a goddamn letdown. I'm just
Like,
putting
why
that out
did
there.
they know that? Why did she know that?
Don't they all know stuff about each other?
Yeah.
They don't even look like they talk to each other outside of publicity. Except for when
All I-
Homelander
all I-
forced himself on Queen
So,
Maeve.
All I know is if I'm on the 7, I need to know how to take out all y'all down at some point. And
So maybe
Yeah.
Maeve, Maeve now.
she been over the shit for years.
Mhm.
So it probably crossed her mind like I need to figure out how to take y'all out at some point. But speaking of taking people out, stomp out the Black Noir gave to Starlight. That room will never recover. And also, based on that fight, for people who know the comics, you know that Black Noir is a clone of Homelander. We don't think that they're so far in this show. We don't think they're going that route because that was a whole thing in the
You
comics.
didn't know that?
No.
That was a whole thing in the comics.
Like, no spoiler alert or anything.
hit you with the razzle dazzle. So anyway, I just feel like even though he may not be a direct clone of Homelander, I think he's put on that team to keep Homelander in check if he has to.
'Cause-
Based on that fight scene, I think he can take Homelander.
Well, here's my question.
So-
when has Homelander? He's gotten out of pocket with everybody. He has never gotten out of pocket with Black Noir.
Because Black Noir does what
No.
he's
It's
supposed
So
not,
here's
it's
my-
not about getting out of pocket with people on the team. It's if Homelander gets out of pocket.
Yeah, like if
They
he
need-
goes
they-
around.
So here's my problem with that though, because now we gotta get into power scaling, and if Maeve,
He has a certain amount of skills that I don't think Homelander can deal with.
but Maeve can take him out, but then on the other end of the pocket, she's like, oh no, Homelander, oh no,
No,
I'm
like, he
like,
didn't take him out. He stuck the candy bar in his mouth and
And-
hit him in the
and
head for like
he's
2
in a
seconds.
vegetable now. He's a vegetable now.
He was in a headlock for 2 seconds, and he was about to get her, and then she shoved it in his mouth. There was literally nothing he can do. It's an allergy.
He don't even
So
know
it's
she
not.
did that.
So it's not that she could beat him in a fight. It's that she caught him while he was focused on killing
Yeah,
Starlight.
like if I'm on a toilet and you hit me with a frying pan. you got me.
Like, I'm busy right
There are
now.
many questions. One, how did you not see me in the bathroom? Like, was I in the corner like?
Like you up in the ceiling.
And I feel like y'all moving the goalpost for her, but sure, whatever. I mean,
But wait, any more good? So we go to the bathroom.
I mean, that's probably enough good. Overall, this season had some decent plot twists. I couldn't see the plot twist
I
coming.
like Newman,
Yeah, I don't know how to feel about that character yet.
Newman?
the congresswoman.
senator.
She's about
Oh, yeah, I didn't see that one. I
Yeah,
didn't see that
I
one.
didn't see that one
I
coming.
literally thought it was Terrence Howard Hawkeye. That was killing Paul.
Because I have questions about
I
that.
thought it was
show.
the one from the asylum.
Yeah.
Yeah, old girl.
Speaking of which, the Asylum episode was pretty good too.
Yeah.
Sure.
Except the penis choking.
We knew that was coming. we knew that was coming.
I know. I saw it and I was like, is that a dick? I think that's a dick. It was just like gross.
Like when my boy mother's girl was like, burn my neck. Burn my neck. Burn everything. Now that we've gone through the goods, let's go to these bads. And there were quite a few. Who wants to go ahead and kick off first? Go ahead.
Okay.
Keep it brief.
So I have a few bads. I'm gonna start this off with I'm gonna start us off with this. I feel like I feel like the tone of this show overall shifted in a way that honestly does not vibe with me right. And it was something that I was scared that they were going to do in season 1, and they kept it stable. And then in season 2, in this season, especially in the latter half, they went too far in the let's be silly with our gross out asshole humor. And to me, that type of shit doesn't appeal to me, because I feel like if you're trying to do this super serial conspiracy theory Nazi bullshit, if you're trying to do this storyline and help me and force me to take it seriously, I can't take it seriously when in the scene right before it, you had a guy watching a porn where there was another guy bent over and there were several people in a circle and he was talking about stick all the dicks in me. Like shit like that is like, I can't take you seriously. Like that, and that's just me. You know, if you like that kind of humor, that's fine, but I also feel like, you know, there has to be like a balance to that sort of thing, and I think it was all balanced. I think they leaned too heavily into that stuff as opposed to the serious stuff.
So you saying there was too much of it, or that it was poorly placed with the scenes that they had coming up next?
Yes. Because like, I don't know, that's pretty much what I gotta say in regards to that. Like, some of that shit I didn't like. Like, I didn't understand what the purpose was with the lamplighter scene where they was watching porn. First of all, you don't do that with other guys. That's the bro code number one. No.
In his mind, he was gonna kill himself, so he did not care.
That's what I took it. He was
Yeah.
like, I'm out the door. If I don't kill myself, they'll kill me in Congress. I'm out the door.
But
I'm
the
gonna
thing
die
is, like,
anyway, I might as well.
but here's the thing, it kept going, and I'm like,
It's like
you show one porn, that's fine, get it out the way, but then like it kept going, and I'm like, I don't need to see all these different porns that you made up in your fucked up mind and then filmed it. Like, that shit's stupid to me. Like, it's padding. A lot of it is padding, and a lot of it is jarring when compared to the serious stuff.
I can understand where you're coming from, but the reason why is because after episodes like that air, the only thing that people want to talk about is shit like that. And the only thing that the writers and producers want to address is stuff like that. I can't tell you how many times all last week or the week before, whenever that episode came out, how they were like, Eric Kripke and such wants everybody to tweet to Amazon to release the full versions of those porns on that episode. Yeah, y'all didn't see any of that?
No.
And to me, it's like, if that's the shit you wanted to make, then you should have just went and made that somewhere else.
And here's my thing. In the last review we did, I talked shit about Amazon and how it's the shittiest streaming network where all the trash shows go to die. You further proved that with this show, because this should have been your show to say, hey, that's wrong. But no, it wasn't, because as we first mentioned, you made a porn, you made superhero porn, and it had, to me, it had no place in that story.
You thought Homebanger didn't have a place in the
No, I didn't.
So
And see that, and that's messed up, because you reminded, because the porn I was thinking about was something else. I forgot about when Homebanger is I forgot when he was fucking Homeboy's wife.
The next bad that we have, I'm gonna need your help with this one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and so it's the wife. I forgot her name. She was with Billy Dilcher's
wife.
what's her name?
Me wife.
Becca.
Becca. So, okay.
Me wife,
Me
me
wife.
missus.
My biggest issue with Becca was that her leverage over Homelander was so flimsy for what it was. It was literally, if you try to do something with my son, I'm gonna kill myself. But my thing is, you had no exit strategy from this. And when your plans, and you told Billy, fuck off, you said, I don't need your help, we're safe and everything. And as soon as they came in, they were like, okay, all we need to do is get the kid to turn from you. And then after that, your world goes to shit. I was like, you had all.
It happened so easy.
So here's my thing, because I gotta push back on that. Like, she literally had no play. She had no cards whatsoever. So she literally had to play. She really had to make up her play.
Her play was, if you do anything that makes me mad, I'm gonna make sure Ryan hates you forever.
Well, and here's the thing. And here's the thing about that. You're not wrong, but why didn't she have a play? It's not like Homelander died after she gave birth to that baby. Like, did you never think that there was a scenario where he decides, I want to see my kid?
Well, and the reason
thing
why
was, he only found out about it after he tortured.
Oh, dude.
Like,
Yeah.
she was literally stuck between a rock and a hard place.
And I agree with you too, and that's why I'm not trying to push on this, because I understand she's a victim in the situation, but her attacker literally has front door access anytime he wants to come to her house. And I'm thinking, and she obviously, when Ryan got taken away, she obviously had moves. Because as soon as he got taken away, she was able to split like that.
And get to Billy.
Like that. And I'm thinking, so you didn't plan a contingency for this.
First of all,
So
you
here's my
and
thing,
I don't want to seem like I'm attacking.
and here's the thing, because I know what you're talking about. Why didn't she just do that with the boy?
Mm-hmm.
Like, they explained, now that much I got between the silly shit that was going on. They explained to you that she could not expose him to the outside world because he didn't know anything about that. They wanted to raise him. They wanted that boy to be raised with his mother
But
in
still
a secure,
controlled environment.
exactly.
Yeah, she still had Vault on her ass.
On
Yeah.
top of the fact that she would have had to explain shit to them as they were moving, and you see how he acted when he found out that they was living in a fake facility. You saw how he acted when they got out in public, and he freaked out because of all of those people around.
So here's my thing about that though, like, and maybe this is more of a vault issue. After the first time he came to the house, like, what the fuck are y'all doing?
She did.
She
Yeah,
did,
she
and,
did
and they told her, "You're on your own. We do not want to anger him."
And after that, she should have been like, well, fuck it, y'all don't really care, I'm gone. But here's
And
the
again,
thing,
but the thing
she
is,
would have
now
to
that
take
he-
him,
Boy.
and like I said, it's a lot of shit she gotta explain as we doing this.
So let me tell you why I gotta push back against that. She was ready to take the boy when Billy was like, come on, let's go. And then she was like, but you don't really want him to go. And he was like, no, but yeah, I don't.
No, she was not ready to do that.
No.
She did. She was like, I want to go.
She didn't even
with
know
you.
Billy was coming.
I'm talking about when Billy came and was like, come on, pack up. Let's have this quick sex and then let's leave.
And then when he said I was getting you out of here, and then when she brought up the boy, he started acting strange on her, and then she fucked off to go get prepared, which was really her going to think about this thing and be like, Billy Butcher is an asshole.
No, 'cause she was like,
Maybe I shouldn't do this.
no, because she was just like, well, I love Billy and I want to be with Billy, but I can't be with Billy if he's gonna try to get rid of the most important person in my entire life.
Exactly. She would have left with the boy when Billy said. If Billy was like,
So
hey,
here's
the supers are cool, I just don't like Homeland.
So here's the
No,
thing.
if she didn't know who Billy was, like if she didn't know Billy to be a superpowered hating person,
Mm-hmm.
then she absolutely would have left with him.
So here's
with Ryan.
Mhm.
But the fact that,
The fact that it was Billy.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
So here's the other thing about that though, which is you're talking about why was she ready to go with Billy at that point? Because Billy is capable. It would be easier to move the boy with Billy than by herself.
But she was able to get to Billy like that.
Because she
But
was
that
by
her one.
herself.
And Ryan doesn't know how to use his powers yet. So as fast as
He started freaking out. once she
Right.
gets to the
As
outside.
fast
But
as
I'm
he
a-
runs,
but I'm a-
she can't run that fast. She doesn't have the time to stop and console him when he has to ask questions. And if he gets emotional
So-
and does something like with super strength or anything, draws attention to them, she doesn't have the time to interact like that.
So moral of the story, kids bring down TV shows.
So I'm gonna say this too to kind of back you guys up. I think the writing for the show period is done in a way where
So
they somewhat straddle the line
Yeah.
on certain things.
So I don't even think that's what it is.
It is that way, and I'm gonna tell you why. And it's with one of my bads, and I can't believe I had to pull him into the garage, but it's Homelander.
Just give him a quick talking to.
And here's the thing: there was nothing wrong with his acting or anything like that. My problem is the story didn't allow this character to be challenged in ways that I think he needed to be to propel him further.
He took a back seat.
Yeah.
He simped. That's literally what it was. He simped, and then when everything was over with, he was right back in the same place he was before, except, yes.
At the,
So-
at the beginning of the season to the end of the season, at the beginning of the
He's
season,
still working with Bot. He's
Beginning-
still on the 7.
at the beginning of the season, I said he was walking around like a horror movie. At the end of the season, everybody pulled his whole card, and he didn't know how to feel about that.
And
He's
now
still
he
working
doesn't
with-
have the control that he had before.
But
over
he's
Maeve.
still working with Bot. He never had control.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he did.
He never had.
Mind you,
In the beginning of the season, when he talked to Giancarlo and he tried to pull his whole card, he pulled his whole card.
but
You
but
therefore.
Yeah, he used mirror force and was like, "Get your ass out there! You got a meeting or whatever." I would say he's back in that position at the end of the season, if not in a little worse position because he got blackmail on him. But that's the thing I'm talking about. Like, if you're this most powerful character, why does this shit matter to you? Why does this money and shit matter to you?
Because when the environment he grew up in, when he didn't have like a caretaker or someone that actually loved him, because he did mention that when he was brought up by the scientists, they kept their distance because they were afraid of him.
Mhm.
And so when he's getting all this love and attention from the people, it's like he
It's-
can't do without
it's
it
a-
anymore.
it's
So-
it's this whole psychological thing with him. Like
He has no physical weakness.
Well, here's
It's all
so here's what I mean by he was never challenged physically or anything like that. Because if you want my honest opinion, and this is gonna be like really drastic, I think that season should have ended where he was killed.
They would never have done.
And that's the problem. You can make 80 pornos for your 2-second clips, but you're not bold enough to make a decision like kill off Homelander at the end of the season. Because let's be real, you'll find some stupid ass bullshit convoluted plan to bring him back. But I mean, like, you were able to do all those other shock moments, but you don't want to kill off Homelander?
But when Homelander is basically the face of the entire country.
Okay, big deal. They were ready to
So
get
they weren't gonna kill him off. 'cause he's
Giancarlo
like,
was literally ready to get rid of him when he started talking that bullshit of "I'ma leave," and he was like, "Fine, go ahead.
No,
We make
because
our money off drugs anyway."
that was a power play. Homelander is their biggest prop. He's a prop for Bort. So if he leaves, because Homelander's only threatening to leave because what is he without Vought? He's just a superpower.
And they were
person.
ready to put Stormfront in front of him.
No, but he wants the attention. Stormfront
Okay.
was only there because she had other leverage.
Okay.
And
And
here's
they were
the
ready
thing-
to
and here's
put
the thing about
Stormfront in
that.
front of Homelander until she cut him.
Here's the thing about
Or
that.
simped him or whatever.
Here's the thing about that. Stormfront addresses all that shit you said about why this shit should matter to him. Cause she tells him that she's during the first half. She's like, none of this shit really matters. All that fame and shit like that. Like, but it's so ingrained. It's like when we talk about how
Patriotism.
patriotism, these systems of oppression and shit like that in real life, how a lot of people, even our own people, are gonna have a difficult time pulling from that because they're so used to it.
Like
They even give
he
you
walks around with the American flag and never takes it off.
exactly. He's not the only member of the Seven that we haven't seen with his costume off, but we see him so much and we never see him with the costume off.
It's a part of him.
And here's the thing, a prime example of what I'm talking about that they give you in the show, the no-name guy that watches Fox News every day and was getting so immersed in the bullshit that they was feeding him, and he acted it out in person. He is Homelander, except Homelander had that shit directly drip fed into him his entire
Right.
life.
Everybody else had lives before they were superheroes. He
Homelander
was grown up
has
in
no-
a lab.
He
and
has no
just
alter.
went-
He has no alter ego.
He
Exactly.
doesn't have a secret identity. He's been Homelander. He's always been Homelander.
And so when you tell him, what's the boy's name? The
Ryan.
kid?
Ryan.
Ryan is literally the antithesis to him. Because whereas Homelander freaks out because he's not getting attention, Ryan got into a crowd and acted a damn fool. They were literally the polar opposite of each other.
And it also could be also a tribute to Ryan's powers too, because since because the show has sensitivity, he was like, I don't want to be around people because my mom doesn't want me to use my powers, but I do have powers.
Cool for Ryan, but again, like I said, I don't think the story allowed for them to challenge Homelander in the way that he should have been challenged. Because think about he didn't really fight anybody.
Let me because
You on this
He
again.
didn't really fight. He didn't really fight anybody.
No,
So
Homelander doesn't
make
take
up
the fight.
somebody.
He just murders people. There are no fights.
and that's the thing. Like once you keep watching that, it's like, is there anybody that can beat his ass? This shit is
That
boring.
came close was Stormfront, and that didn't even end in like a battle.
so here's the thing.
She realized she didn't have to.
I get where you coming from because it has gotten noticeable that they strategically do not let Homelander straight up fight anybody. The closest he did was that fight sex with Stormfront. That was the
Which,
closest.
by the way, another bad.
but I'm gonna say this. I don't think it's the fact that he didn't have a challenge this season. I think what it was they had the challenge, he stepped up to the challenge, and then it faltered. It was like what you said earlier about straddling the fence. Like, that Stormfront was supposed to be that challenge, and he never resolved it. Other people resolved it.
Well, and I'll have to say this too. Like, I seriously doubt we're gonna get an epic battle with Homelander because it doesn't look like
This was comics.
It would have
Yeah,
to be
like-
him against like
Well-
multiple other superheroes.
Well, not even-
Like, literally, his arch is Billy Butcher, and he can't fight.
well, not just that. But what I'm saying is like there's no point because the whole point is to show this society in which and the way that they live in and how everybody interacts with each other.
Mhm.
I don't think the payoff is this monumental battle between him and somebody else.
Superman is odd.
Yeah. We're never gonna get that.
If
But-
that was the case, then why did they? You know
But-
what?
No, but I think
when
that's why they don't give him the physical challenges that you're looking for, and they give him the more mental, emotional ones, like when he's battling, not being beloved by the people.
But that's what I was getting at too, because I'm not even just talking about the physical battles. He met those challenges, and and they were never really resolved on his own. other people resolved them or they dropped them all.
Yeah, because he's a man child.
But that's where I'm getting at. Like, if you want us to keep being endeared by this character, we can't see the same shit over and over again.
The thing is, it's just this whole thing of that we have this walking God amongst us, that the only reason why he isn't literally subjugating the world is because of his admiration for humanity and walking that line of it in between itself. But just moving on for a second, another bad that I have is so Becca gets out and she finds Billy, and the way everybody acts to her.
So okay, let me, because I got a major bad, and that's part of it, and the Becca shit you mentioned before is part of it.
I gotta live. If we can wrap all of that into one,
go for it.
Okay, so my major,
Trying to keep it concise, but we still gotta get to the Stormfront.
my major problem with the season is, in the first half, they told you every way in which Billy was wrong, because he is wrong. And then from episode 5 to the end, it was, we gotta show that Billy's a person. We gotta make you kind of like him again. Oh, he has an abusive dad played by the dude from Fringe, and he kind of beat him up a little bit. Oh, Lenny, his brother died. Oh, Billy, boo hoo 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 hoo. And then like all the shit that they told you was wrong about Billy, they turn it around and is like, we need to reassure you that Billy's the guy. His wife, who she was like, I'm not going with you because you're a garbage piece of shit. You should have went with him, because now your son's getting fucked up.
The story twisted itself in a way to make him right.
Exactly. She gets to the hideout or whatever, and the gang fawns over her like she was Homelander.
It was a look who came crawling back.
Yeah.
It was a look who came crawling back moment.
Not even that. I just lost so much respect for the boys' crew, because I was like, all y'all literally
still have some?
a drop. All of them would literally fall. Even Mother's Milk. I was like, bro, what are you doing?
You knew he was. You knew he was.
I gotta talk about him too.
Yeah, well, so I got a list of people that need to go away from the show forever. Can I rattle off my list?
One thing I
I
gotta
actually want to hear them.
go ahead.
Just go flow straight through it.
A-Train.
Yep.
Okay.
Get out of here. I agree.
You're done. The Deep. that shit is over. Let's go.
Get down.
Frenchie.
Yeah.
Yes.
I feel like
Frenchie needs to go.
I feel like
No,
Frenchie.
fuck Frenchie. Yes.
No, keep going through the list and we'll get on
The
Frenchie
list.
later.
Who? Let's see. Who should I bring up?
Just go down the list.
Mother's Milk can go.
Yeah, Mother's Milk can go. The church can go.
The church is
I kind of
going.
like the church. The church
No, the church
The
sucks.
church is going.
Starlight?
Yeah, she can go too.
I told you, the show's gonna be the boy by the time he's done with
It's
it.
called Black Noir.
No, he's at the top of my list. Major disappointment.
What?
Major
and
disappointment.
Kimiko, because they basically have the same power.
Major
Black
disappointment.
Noir and Kimiko?
Kamiko can stay.
I was about to fight you.
Butcher has to go too.
So, no.
Yes, Butcher. You want Butcher to
I
stay?
actually want Butcher to stay.
So I was gonna say this for the end, but I honestly feel like season 3 needs to be the final season.
Yeah.
You know what?
It depends on how they play it.
Let me-
It needs to be the
Let
final
me tell you why I agree with you. So.
because they ended all the conflict in this season.
Mhm.
They can't possibly bring up that much more conflict in season 3.
So let me tell you what
Well,
I've been
we
reading.
still have Newman and also the superheroes that were in the asylum.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
So what?
that's
Well,
that's the Stebbins problem.
Well, so let me say this. The last time we did this review, you made a comment that the only thing that they're going to keep doing is bringing in more Homelanders. And we were all like, yeah, whatever, like,
And,
no.
and I was
And
proven
then-
right because every article that came out, they was like, Jensen Ackles is gonna be Soldier Boy, and he's gonna be worse than Homelander. And then they were like, Homelander's gonna be worse than he was in season 2. And I'm like, if this is what you have to sell the show on, I'm out.
Soldier Boy was introduced already.
They mentioned him by name, but it's not the fact of bringing Soldier Boy in. It's the fact that they mentioned Soldier Boy by name in this season. It was a blink and you'll miss it. But it's not the fact of bringing Soldier Boy in, but they're advertising it as he's going to be worse than Homelander, and that was literally what Stormfront's advertisement was for this season.
And my thing
And then they say Homelander is gonna be worse in season 3 than he was in season 2, and it's like, so is he gonna throw Venus into the sun? What the fuck? How much worse can he
and
get?
that was what I was trying to get at. Like,
It's
this
Soulja
show
Boy.
hit a fucking wall.
And is Soldier Boy worse than season 3 Homelander or season 2 Homelander?
Because if he's not as bad as season 3, he don't stand a chance.
Exactly.
Unless he's no Kaioken.
And y'all jumped on me like, fuck you.
So my biggest pet peeve in this whole series, I'm cool with Homelander, I'm cool with Butcher, because their characters have been established. One person I can't stand no more is Huey. like every time I see him, I just literally get soft.
Here's the thing about
he is the human embodiment of impotence.
So here's the thing. I'm actually gonna push back on that and stump for Huey.
Oh, wow.
How did this happen?
He was the only one that was consistently trying to get shit done. Now, it was limp as fuck. I will give you that.
Hey, let's go get.
It was literally the same plan every time.
Hey, let's go get stuff done. Are you guys cool with me?
It's better.
Are you guys gonna sit next to me at lunch now?
It was better that than right after Butcher gets dumped. Like I'm done. I'm going to my auntie's house because my wife left me and then like he does this thing where he wanna walk up on you and he do this sachet shit. like he got fucked up breast implants and he wants to show him out. And like the scene where he was at his aunt's house. He was at his aunt's house and he was like, y'all need to go. I'ma distract Black Noir. And he was like, no, I'm not moving. And then he does this shit. He was like, don't make me hurt you, Huey. And he was like, no, I'm not moving. Damn mother's milk ass walk up in there. You make me every move.
No. Let me talk.
Swear, don't move me.
And
I'm like,
Christian, tag me, and I want this one. Mother's milk roll in there like, we ride together. We
and
ride
I'm
together.
like,
Bad boy,
I'm like, fuck you. Where was that same energy when he called y'all punk ass bitches that step and fetch for him a few episodes ago when y'all was gonna kill Kimiko's brother? Do you see why I don't like these characters?
I don't like Huey. My thing is like Huey, you bitch press breadsticks. What fight? What? How do you?
Breadsticks?
Breadsticks.
Breadsticks, okay.
Yes, he did bitch press breadsticks. How good do you think you're gonna be in this fight against Black Noir?
I understand your contempt for him because he is aggravating, but also I get what you're saying about him too because at the end he literally did have character development. Like except for, can you even call what Kimiko had character development? I think she did have some character development, but like.
All right,
I think she was
stuff
just-
at me.
no.
Don't throw stuff at me.
I think she was the same character from the beginning,
Yeah, she's just been.
but now she's just like more open.
Yeah,
She-
but I consider that development.
Yeah.
She developed that.
She's opening herself to the entirety.
She's been one note since the beginning of this. Hold up, not saying that that's a bad note.
No.
Consistency. We like. I like.
So So here's the thing about that, and that is a problem because they don't allow her to speak. And I feel like that is a crutch for that character.
Which is weird because Black Noir doesn't speak and he emotes way better than she does.
That's the body.
no,
That's the actor.
no.
He does way better emoting than she does.
Black Noir?
Yes.
Seriously?
Well, I think it's different because he's more of a body communicator and she communicates more with her facial expressions
In her hands.
and her hands. So like when she literally has her own made up sign language, so no one else understands what she's saying except for her brother.
Well-
And so now we get to see how she's communicating with Frenchie by teaching him the sign language. I think we do get to see her emotions more than Black Noir.
Like we don't like, but you know, other people who don't get character development, like Mother's Milk was the same person. He didn't get no care. He got his family back.
So here's why I'm like, fuck Frenchie. At the end of the season, he pretty much gets a girl.
Okay.
Okay.
This one.
And I feel like he shouldn't have been rewarded.
Okay.
He pretty much tried to sexually assault Kimiko, and he's rewarded for that at the end of the fucking show.
I did.
Because we saw his sad ass origin or whatever.
I read something that says, well, you know, in the comics that they're not like that at all, that it's completely platonic, and
Sure,
the way-
I believe that.
the way they played it is that he was like, oh, here's a girl, I don't know how to make her feel better, sex makes me feel better, maybe sex will make her feel better, and it didn't work out like that.
Yeah.
And so he was trying to navigate a kind of a friendship with a woman who he wasn't intimate with, or like not intimate with in that way. And we got to see more of his personality, except for, you know, this French dude that does drugs and makes bombs all day.
Which the thought process behind that. Like, I like it when I'm having sex with a clean chick. Maybe she like a dirty French person on top of her rocket. Like, that was in his mind.
Mm-hmm.
But going to more bad. Stormfront, somebody said?
Yeah, Sam had to get in the Stormfront.
Starlight.
Was it Stormfront or Starlight?
Someone
Well, I
kept
thought we
mentioning
were doing the bads and then we were doing Stormfront.
Oh yeah.
Right, any more bads?
Starlight.
well, of course, she is a
No,
consistent
like,
bad because she
I-
don't know how to navigate.
It's like she doesn't have her own set personality to me, because it's like, oh, one section she's feeling the exact way he was feeling. The next person she's, oh, I'm so against Billy Butcher and I don't like this dude and he sucks ass and he shot me. And then it's like, oh,
Billy is right.
I'm more like Billy than I thought I was, and I'm like,
And that was the other thing that pissed me off, because that was more confirmation that Billy is right. He's the person
They
that
twisted the story
he's
to
the
make
person-
him right.
Exactly, because like y'all were on this motherfucker tried to kill you last season, and now all of a sudden every 5 minutes, you know, Billy is right, Huey. Billy is right, Huey. You know, me and Billy have some things in common. Billy is right.
You got some butcher on your brain.
Exactly. Like, and this is a quick bad, and I'm sorry to say this. This is probably fucked up, but don't ever show Billy's family again. Don't ever put all of them in the same room together. I couldn't understand a word.
They look like a box of crying potatoes.
What's my guy's name?
Okay.
John.
so I think
John
all of
Noble.
you need to watch some EastEnders.
I'm good.
Because
John Noble was my man.
I don't know how you
Yeah,
get
when I
any
saw him,
of
I was like, is that John Noble? Oh shit, I sat up, and then he was like, what? And I was like, I'm good. Lenny wouldn't have did that, and then
I bet your cousin like you. Skip.
But yeah, that brings me to
sorry.
to be fair,
there's no fairness about this.
Carl Urban isn't even British. That's Australian.
Same difference.
No, it's
No,
not.
I was trying to give her an out. All right, so
All right, now it's time to get to the Stormfronts. And now the Stormfronts is the worst of the worst, and it almost made it unwatchable.
So,
What was the Stormfront?
I got.
I liked her when she first showed up because I was like, oh, okay.
I don't think she's
Let's
going
have
so
someone
far.
who. No, I was like, let's have someone who actually has personality, and then I was like, oh, she's a racist.
I'm not
Okay.
gonna
So-
lie.
Oh, she's killing innocent people. Oh, those innocent people are black people. I don't like this.
I'm not gonna lie. I liked her character.
The actress played her character
I liked
well.
it.
Maybe I just don't like Nazis, period.
Well, that's the whole. Like I said, though, if the actor can get you to hate the character, they've done a good job.
She did an amazing job.
Was there anything morally reprehensible about this that I was like, you know what, I can't watch this anymore? Okay, so
The fact that
So-
they keep putting the deep on there.
yeah, so let's go to this. Stormfront got baby mama hooked up to the tree, and Ryan does something. Now, I've taken physics. I've taken chemistry.
I have the high ground, Ryan.
So whatever it looks like 2 chainsaws and a butcher knife came out of his eyes. Because the way Stormfront body looked, I was like, what the fuck does that?
That wasn't heat vision. That was
And all
Wolverine vision.
and the only thing, and here's the part, if you saw the proxemics, she was literally up in the mom.
She was
literally
holding her
in,
like
she
this.
she could have had 2 fingers in Becky, and
So-
all of us like would have been like, okay, whatever.
The most logical thing that my brain is coming up with is when he got her and her arm just went like that
No,
and maybe sliced.
because her arms weren't there.
No, I mean before.
She already had a grip on her. So.
Yeah, she already had the grip around her
Well, she
throat,
got
so
it.
maybe like when it blew out.
I'll be cool, but all she had was a little cut there.
No,
So couldn't really
because
see
her
it.
hand was covering it.
Okay,
It
cool.
was just a gush of blood coming out.
Well,
What?
I'm like, I don't see any
I mean-
burn marks on her. I see some ash,
So
but
so
that's about
so what
it.
you telling me is whatever came out of his eyeballs, which was probably Baraka,
was the Texas Chainsaw.
was not only strong enough to cook her chicken raw, but to also sever this, like this, like
Maybe this is what her weak points were.
no, you don't understand. Like Hewitt McGregor popped from behind a tree was like, that's what I'm talking about. Like,
Did you say Hewitt McGregor?
yeah,
It's Hewitt.
it's pronounced different in British. And she's and she's all on the ground looking like bad brisket, just sitting there stitching with one eyeball out. And I was like, you was literally 2 inches. 2 inches. Oh, and with a Billy pin on that crowbar, I was like, hit the boy.
Finish it.
Finish it!
You killed me, wife.
I gotta point erector act of good. The look Carl Urban gave, his eyes was red, the tears coming out as he was about like
Intensity.
I felt that ass whooping through the screen. I was like, get him. And look at me in the eyes as you do it. So I can finish.
So I got a Stormfront. I got a Stormfront, and stick with me with this.
Make it quick.
Okay, this is gonna sound weird, but here it goes. They can't do fuck things at all. Like every sex scene that they've had on that show looked cringy and awful.
Ain't nobody got no stroke. Ain't nobody,
Yeah, and
So, because I
Like-
noticed that actors sometimes don't want to touch the other actor, so they have like boards in between them, which makes the movement.
but you knew what your script was when you.
I do know that they don't play to the angles, but yeah.
And then you tried to do the flying sex scene, and I'm like, not every idea that you come up with you have to film.
Or it doesn't have to be so professional.
Exactly. B, if you knew this didn't look right and you kept
I
it.
thought the turning point when they used the Robert goo as lube, and I was like,
Like, so
okay.
y'all just don't care about blood at all? Alright, so,
Like
um,
hepatitis.
But the reason I bring that up because it speaks to a bigger point that I was gonna make, which is like some of the stuff that they did on there didn't clock well in regards to like I want to say visuals or just ideas in general. Like, for example, ain't nobody watched Access Hollywood in 20 years. So when you try out rusty ass Katie Couric to speak to the deep, and then like that shit is relevant today, like, dude, this shit is old hat.
Yeah. Like you said, the deep gotta go. Deep is definitely my Stormfront for this season. Overall, he has no place on the show. Like I don't. He doesn't need to be a character in season 3. Like it doesn't need to be a thing.
Did Fresca
He's
buy
not getting
ad
back
time
in
for
the
the show?
7.
Probably so.
Okay, that makes
And now he's
sense.
exiled from the church. It's like, why are you here anymore?
So as you guys can see, there's been a lot of stuff about this season. Hopefully season 3 will pick it up a little bit more, but as we've been told, we might not be holding out hope for that. There was a lot of good things to go along with this season, but it seems to be more negative than good. But in the bottom of the chat, put down your best moments, put down your worst moments, so we can tell you how you're wrong. Like and subscribe, but until next time, love our country.